These are 5 UK pasta sauce brands you must avoid. Quietly loaded with salt, sugar, and heavy processing, most families never check. But not all jars are bad. Stay with us, because we'll also reveal a few safer options worth choosing instead. Dolmio is arguably the most recognised pasta sauce brand in the UK, a label that has come to define family dinner for millions. Its marketing is built on wholesome language. Tomatoes grown under the sun, herbs plucked at peak flavour, and recipes inspired by rustic Italian kitchens. On supermarket shelves, Dolmio jars sit prominently at eye level, positioned as the comforting, everyday choice for busy families. But behind this image lies a much more industrial process, one shaped by economics, preservation science, and the pressures of global food manufacturing. To understand what's really in a Dolmio sauce, we need to look beyond the front-of-pack claims and into the ingredient list. While tomatoes and spices are there, added sugars and modified starches are also present, not just as flavour components, but as functional ingredients that improve texture, consistency, and shelf life. These additives help standardise flavour across millions of bottles, ensuring the sauce tastes the same from Aberdeen to Plymouth, regardless of seasonal variability in raw produce. But the cost of this consistency isn't trivial. These ingredients dilute the nutritional value of the sauce, meaning that what looks like a tin of real food on the outside often contains more engineered components than consumers expect. This discord between marketing and reality doesn't stop at ingredients. Dolmio has also been the subject of so-called shrinkflation complaints from UK shoppers. In recent years, the company reduced the size of its classic 500 jar to 450 gram, yet the price point stayed nearly the same. Buyers expressed frustration, accusing the brand of sneaking in a price increase by stealth. Many reported noticing that the sauce tastes watered down compared with older versions, not just a perception, but a possible consequence of less real tomato content and more stabilizers and bulking agents being added to maintain volume and mouthfeel. From a public health perspective, Dolmio's salt content is also notable. In the comprehensive survey by Consensus Action on Salt and Health, CASH, Dolmio sauces ranked among the higher salt products in their category. With salt, sodium, widely linked to blood pressure and cardiovascular issues, this isn't just a matter of taste, it's a matter of diet quality. What's more, Dolmio itself has acknowledged that some of its past recipes were higher than ideal in salt, sugar or fat, prompting changes in labelling and consumer guidance. Yet despite these changes, many jars still contain levels that dietary guidelines would caution against if used liberally. For many families pouring Dolmio onto their plates, the implications are hardly visible at dinner time. But when we step back and examine the engineering behind these products, a more complicated, less comforting picture emerges, one that every consumer should know before buying their next jar. This channel exists to inform, not to advertise. Support BRIT Bite, and let's raise awareness across Britain together. Jamie Oliver's pasta sauces are some of the most recognisable jars in UK supermarkets, often marketed as fresh, wholesome, and inspired by traditional Italian recipes. The brand leverages the celebrity chef's reputation, suggesting that these sauces are not only flavourful, but also healthier than typical mass-produced options. Labels promise natural ingredients, herbs hand-picked for flavour, and recipes designed to bring restaurant-quality taste to everyday home cooking. However, a closer examination of what's actually inside reveals a more complicated story, blending marketing, industrial food engineering, and nutritional compromise. One of the most striking issues with Jamie Oliver sauces is salt content. Independent survey on UK pasta sauces highlighted that certain variants, like spicy olive and garlic or tomato and basil, contain up to 3 grams of salt per 100 grams. Considering that a single jar typically weighs around 350–400 grams, consuming half a jar in one meal could deliver nearly the entire recommended daily salt intake for an adult. This high salt content, while enhancing taste and shelf stability, is often invisible to consumers who associate the chef's brand with health-conscious cooking. Sugar is another hidden factor. To balance acidity and create the rich, familiar flavor, many Jamie Oliver sauces contain added sugars, which may be less obvious than in sweeter sauces but still contribute to overall calorie intake. While subtle in taste, these sugars accumulate over repeated meals, quietly impacting family diets. This is particularly concerning for children, who may consume large portions over several meals in a week without parents realizing the cumulative sugar load. Beyond nutrition, industrial manufacturing practices play a key role. Jamie Oliver sauces are produced on a massive scale to meet supermarket demand, meaning flavor, consistency, and texture must be standardized across every batch. Stabilizers, modified starches, and preservatives are used to maintain the fresh taste and the thick, rich texture that customers expect. While these ingredients help the sauce stay consistent on shelves and during transportation, they also dilute the sense of authenticity that the branding implies, making the product more engineered than artisanal. In summary, Jamie Oliver pasta sauces illustrate the intersection of marketing, industrial production, and consumer expectations. While the jars promise freshness, health, and Italian authenticity, for shoppers, the takeaway is clear. Celebrity branding does not guarantee healthfulness, and careful label reading remains essential for informed choices. Napolina pasta sauces. Napolina has built its reputation in the UK as a brand that delivers authentic Italian flavors with a focus on traditional recipes and quality ingredients. On shelves, Napolina jars are often marketed with imagery of sun-ripened tomatoes, fresh herbs, and simple home-cooked style sauces. Consumers trust this messaging, assuming that the brand prioritizes flavor and wholesome ingredients over industrial shortcuts. However, when we examine the ingredients and nutritional profile more closely, a more nuanced picture emerges, one that mirrors the challenges facing nearly all mass-produced sauces in the UK. The first concern is sodium content. While Napolina promotes itself as a quality, family-friendly brand, some of its sauces, particularly ready-to-use varieties like tomato and basil or arrabbiata, contain significant levels of salt. Surveys report show that although Napolina often fares better than high-salt branded sauces, certain flavored variants can still push a notable portion of an adult's daily recommended intake, especially if multiple servings are used in a single meal. High salt content, combined with hidden sugars and industrial additives, underscores the challenge of balancing taste, preservation, and health. Napolina sauces often include added sugars to balance acidity and enhance flavor, particularly in tomato-based sauces. These sugars are subtle on the palate, giving the impression of natural sweetness, but can accumulate over repeated family meals, quietly adding calories and impacting blood sugar levels. Industrial processing is central to Napolina's approach. To maintain consistency across millions of jars and across UK supermarkets, Napolina uses stabilizers, thickeners, and preservatives. These ingredients ensure that the sauce maintains a smooth texture, even when transported over long distances, but also reduce the proportion of naturally sourced ingredients. This is a common challenge for traditional brands scaling up production. The need to preserve flavor and texture often comes at the expense of nutritional transparency and perceived authenticity. Consumer perception remains a double-edged sword. Many buyers trust Napolina for its traditional branding, associating the jars with homemade quality. Some customers noting sauces that seem watery or less rich than expected. While the brand is considered more authentic than some supermarket-owned labels or heavily marketed premium sauces, nutritional analysis and ingredient inspection reveal compromises that contradict the artisanal image. Finally, Napolina, like all major UK sauce brands, is subject to occasional allergen. Number 4. Sackler has long positioned itself in the UK as a premium artisanal brand, famous for its pesto, specialty pasta sauces, and gourmet Italian-style products. On shelves, Sackler jars exude sophistication. Images of fresh basil, rich olive oil, and vibrant tomatoes suggest a handcrafted product, ideal for food enthusiasts seeking both flavor and authenticity. However, beneath this upscale packaging lies the complex reality of mass-produced sauces, where consistency, shelf life, and industrial production techniques play a far greater role than traditional cooking methods. The first concern with Sackler sauces is salt content. While some of their products are marketed as healthier or lighter alternatives, surveys indicate that salt levels in many Sackler sauces are still significant, but even a small portion can deliver a substantial amount of sodium. This makes regular consumption a potential contributor to excess daily salt intake, particularly for families who use these sauces multiple times a week. Sackler sauces include added sugars to balance acidity and enhance taste, creating a flavor profile that feels natural yet is partly engineered. Though subtle, these sugars accumulate over time, contributing to overall dietary sugar intake. The combination of salt, sugar, and concentrated flavoring agents illustrates how industrially processed sauces prioritize taste consistency and market appeal over nutritional transparency. Industrial processing is key to Sackler's ability to supply the UK market at scale. To maintain smooth textures, vibrant colours, and predictable taste across millions of jars, Sackler employs stabilizers, thickeners, and preservatives. While these additives help the product withstand transportation and long-term storage, they also mean that the sauce is significantly engineered, far from the fresh, handcrafted image presented on the label. For consumers equating premium with pure, minimally processed ingredients, this is a crucial distinction often overlooked. Consumer perception heavily favours Sackler due to branding. Many UK shoppers assume that a premium jar automatically means superior ingredients and healthier content. Yet in reality, nutritional analysis shows that Sackler sauces can contain levels of salt and sugar comparable to other branded sauces, sometimes exceeding supermarket-owned label alternatives. In conclusion, Sackler pasta sauces exemplify the tension between gourmet marketing and industrial reality. High salt, hidden sugars, and processing aids exist behind a carefully curated artisanal image. For UK shoppers, the lesson is clear. The jar may look gourmet, but nutritional scrutiny and ingredient awareness are essential to make informed, healthy choices. Sackler reminds us that premium labelling is a promise of flavour, not always of wholesomeness. Ragu has long positioned itself as a premium, restaurant-style pasta sauce, the kind of jar you imagine in an Italian kitchen, simmering slowly while you hear the sound of bubbling tomatoes and garlic. Its marketing evokes authenticity and culinary tradition, promising rich, chunky textures and the taste of Italy in the convenience of your own home. At first glance, ragu seems wholesome. Tomatoes, herbs, and a hint of olive oil. Yet closer inspection of the ingredient list reveals a blend of added sugars, stabilizers, and salt, designed to create a uniform taste, prevent separation, and extend shelf life. The taste may feel fresh, but a large portion of that flavor is engineered rather than natural. Salt content is another major concern. According to the Cash survey on UK pasta sauces, ragu consistently falls into the higher salt bracket among branded sauces. For families who use a full jar to feed several people, this can quickly contribute a substantial portion of the recommended daily salt intake, which is 6 grams for adults. Here are 2 of the best safer pasta sauces you can choose in the UK, options that nutrition research and healthier ingredient profiles suggest are better choices compared with many mainstream jars. 1. Weight Watchers Roasted Garlic Pasta Sauce. One of the most striking findings from long-standing UK pasta sauce research is just how much pasta sauces can differ in salt content. In the consensus action on Salt and Health survey of nearly 200 pasta sauces, the Weight Watchers Roasted Garlic Sauce stood out with very low salt, around 0.1 per 100 grams, a 30th of some high-salt variants like flavoured celebrity chef sauces. That dramatic difference means this sauce has far less sodium, making it one of the better store-bought options if you're watching your salt intake. Lower sodium doesn't just help with long-term heart health, it also means you can enjoy pasta sauces more often without pushing your diet toward unhealthy levels of salt. Number 2. Mr. Organic Healthier Choice Basilico. For a cleaner ingredient profile, organic brands like Mr. Organic's Healthier Choice Basilico pasta sauce are excellent options. These sauces are crafted with sun-ripened tomatoes, fresh basil, and importantly, no added sugar, lower salt, and minimal processing. Organic sauces like this typically avoid refined ingredients, artificial additives, and bulking agents, offering a more transparent and food-centric profile than many big supermarket and premium brands. Because they focus on natural flavor from tomatoes and herbs, you're less likely to see the hidden sugars and salt that sneak into many mass-market sauces.